Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Empowering Musicians podcast. I am your host and founder, Michael Manley, and I'm very happy to have a special show for us today. And before I introduce our guest, I just want to say that broadly, I think what we all try to do as artists is to create harmony in the world. And that's why we practice, that's why we take auditions, that's why we teach, because we really want to bring something positive and change the energy of the world through our music or through our visual arts or through our writing. And there are times when I think we have to take a pause and actually look at where that's not working, right? And I wanted to use my platform to bring my good friend Abba on, who I'm about to introduce, and talk about what's going on in Africa. Some of us may know, I know those of us who are members of the LGBTQ plus community are very aware, but even some of us in that community on this side of the ocean may not be aware. And it's very challenging right now for our brothers and sisters in Africa who are members of that community. And I'm very happy to welcome my good friend Abba Henry, who is the COO and founder of the Diamond Mine Academy, and who is the first guest I think I've ever had from a completely different continent. So welcome, Abba Henry.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, Mike. And I think we're still in the same platform as artists. I'm also an artist.
Yep.
From another planet, they say, or we can say another continent. Before I got in here and whatever I'm going through, I was doing my music career and it was moving well till I became an asylum seeker in Kenya. So we are still in the same route.
Yes, and before we get into your journey, what kind of music were you making? Because it's very different than what I do, I remember.
Yeah, but firstly, let me introduce myself. I am Abba Henry, and I'm right now based in Nairobi, Kenya. I'm the COO of Financial Space and CEO of the Manley Academy. So we are cooperating together, Financial Space and the Manley Academy. And so our music in Africa, it's a bit different from yours. In with the trending market on our side, things are changing. Like for you, I saw most of the music that you do there is live. You do live music, like everything is live. For us, we get in a studio, we have to go and record. So one person can produce the whole song. And what is this? Like you go with what is trending. And this is the technique that everyone is using here. That you go to the studio, like you compose a song, if you're a musician, and put your ratings and everything, your content together, go to the studio, find the beats, make the beats with the producer, if you're not one, and then you produce a song. So if you have that competition, you can produce a song in one day. And then, like after making the audio, making the beats and everything, you can go ahead and produce the video as well. So that's how we use it. So you were asking me the type of music. So I used to do R&B, Afrobeat, R&B, and then Afrobeat, because that's Africa. Like Afro comes from Afrobeat, like the beats of our culture or the African cultures. Like you can hear like the madimbas and all that. So we just fuse, and then the style that our people understand mostly. But with R&B, we fuse because this community now, the generation understands, and as we all like our countries were colonized by Britain, and it depends where you are colonized from. Now, like East Africa, most of the guys from East Africa were colonized by Britain. So our official language is English, and English mostly, and then we follow up our mother tongue.
Okay. Well, that's
Yeah,
fascinating. And so you were making music there in Uganda where you grew up, is that right?
yeah, I was doing music, and
Uh-huh.
in fact, it was the main career before I left, and getting all the problems with the LGBTQ community and the way they take us. So I had to find protection, and I had to leave Uganda, so especially when I was getting on the peak of my journey in the music, and with the problems that I got that I can't go through right now, with, like telling everything in details. But with the LGBTQ community in Uganda, it's having no chance to survive. So you either die or save your life by moving away, finding safety somewhere else. So I had to move into Kenya, like looking for protection and to start a new life.
And so the situation in Uganda is has always been bad, and it's gotten worse now with
Yeah,
the
the
passage of
situation in Uganda has gotten worse.
yeah.
Yeah, and before it was like after knowing one person, like if they get to know you, let's say if you're gay or lesbian or transgender, they don't believe in that. They don't even believe those people do happen. They do exist, and
Mhm.
they could make all the efforts to make sure you either die or like try to make sure they squeeze you to the point that they want you. You know, they don't take you like any other human being. You
Yeah.
know, so but that was before, and at least there was a chance that you can escape, or the landlord can tell you after knowing you're a gay, they can tell you get off from my house, or from my building or my apartment, and you go like that, and then they write letters even when they know where you're going to rent next. They tell those people that guy is a gay and don't allow him to stay there. He will spoil your children, he will spoil your community, and he's a disgusting person. So don't let him be close anyway. So that is it. But for me, my case was like I had problems with the family of my boyfriend, and I almost lost my life. I was almost shot dead. So I had no chance staying in Uganda, and I had to leave my music career and save my life and move on to where I thought I could get at least the help, and that was Kenya. So I had to move into UNHCR and the government of Kenya register. Since UNHCR leads like human rights, you know, I came in and I had to register with them, and then they allowed me asylum in Kenya.
So you applied for asylum in Kenya and you had to relocate to Kenya then.
Yeah, I had to relocate to Kenya, but then when you reach here, of course, you can't live like any other person. You're not a national. It's a different country. However much we are all black, so you have to go to refugee secretariat, or you have to ask and go to the refugee secretariat, which is taken by the government. They register you. It is taken by the government, and it is being operated by the government and UNHCR. That is United Nations, uh, something like something like refugees. That's the United Nations.
Okay.
So okay, they handle the cases of refugees, and they are helped by the government of Kenya because they know that cases do exist, and they are the only ones in East Africa that can give you asylum. So if you have your profile and it belongs to the LGBTQ, and they know what is happening, most especially in African countries, so they give you an asylum, and they register you as a person who will come here, and then they have to take you to the camp. They can't
So
keep you anywhere.
yeah, so your status is as a refugee then when you're in Kenya after you leave Uganda.
Yeah, okay. Another like in general, person can say I'm a refugee,
Mhm.
but with when you go into details and how these things move, I'm at a level where a person can say I'm an asylum seeker. It is not the same way things happen in USA.
Okay.
Now here you come and seek asylum, they register you, and then you just at that level. You to qualify to be a refugee in this country, you have to do what they call eligibility interview to ask you the question is and all the and to allow you be all qualified to be a refugee. And that's when they give you an alien card in their country. But without that, and that takes time. And this is the painful thing, because we are here and we stuck. Like many of us came here, we registered with them, but they don't give us that interview. So right now at the level, even when I want to get out of this country, I can't have papers, I can't have passport. It is the government to decide, it is UNHCR to decide when. And then now, like, I'm making 5 years when I'm here and I'm still an asylum seeker. I'm not a recognized refugee. So it's also painful that they make us go through that. It's some kind of torture that we face. Like, they would have called you and then they give you the eligibility interview, but you're not. Even when you want to, let's say if you have people to help you out, you can't, because you can't access to the embassy, you can't have a passport, you're not a national, you can't, so you just there. And this is when we become, maybe they are commodity or whatever, because they decide on our lives. That's what they can.
Yeah. So before you can even become a refugee, you're an asylum seeker.
Yeah, you're just an asylum seeker.
And as an asylum seeker, you have to live in a certain place and you can't actually work. Is that true? And you don't have the ability to get a passport, you said, right?
Yeah, because you don't have papers, you're just an asylum seeker.
Okay.
You cannot have like working permit, you're just an asylum seeker, so you can't work in this country. And at least a person with eligibility and is having an alien card can ask the permission to work. Maybe they can allow, although I've never seen some. But I believe, because when they give you the alien card, it means you're a refugee who has no country, but you are allowed because you have the papers that talk about you. But an asylum seeker only has that paper that you registered under the government of Kenya and UNHCR. So you cannot go anywhere. You can't have the permit. You can't present your papers to any office.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow. So how did you get from the asylum seekers camp, I should say, where you landed in Kenya? You were living at the Kakuma camp, is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah, like when I reached in Kenya, in Nairobi, and then I went to register. They registered me, they allowed me, but the only place they could give you is to take you to the refugee camp. And that's why they keep you. So it doesn't matter which case you own, whether you're a war refugee or an asylum seeker, you came to your country as some kind of wars and all that, and you are looking for asylum, all those people have to be in the camp. Now, the difference comes when, like, for us, like LGBTQs, we are not, like, leaving my country is not because I'm hungry. I didn't come because I was hungry. There was hunger. There was no war. And even some could be when they are not broke. We are not broke, that we don't have money and all that. But because of the situation and my life is at danger. So, well, now what happens is that they put you together with the other refugees that don't believe and don't want, like, LGBT. They don't even believe the same people that you're running, the same people that you're finding, because now refugees are many. They come from different countries, different cultures and all that. So still, even the refugee camp, you find people that don't believe LGBTQ people do exist, and that mentality, I was saying those people don't exist, pains them. You become a problem to them. Just I'm here seeing you and they say that one is a gay, that one is a lesbian, that one is a transgender. For them, they don't believe in that, and they say you're taken as a curse. So even your fellow asylum seekers or refugees, they don't want you closer to them. So you are discriminated, and still the same thing that you're facing from your country, the same thing that you face here.
Yeah. So even after getting out of Uganda, getting to Kenya, as an asylum seeker, you're still not even in a safe space with the camp you're in, because it has other folks in it from.
Yeah, that's obvious. We're not safe now, and if you look back, some time back, people were dying here, like they were being attacked They look for you. And now, like in the camp, our houses were set on fire, and we were attacked on the road when you're walking. And you know what happened? Like our country is making everything open, so they know most of the people who are coming from Uganda, LGBTQ. So when we do associate with other cultures, other tribes, other nationalities in the camp, they know people from Uganda, LGBTQ. So we don't need to associate with them. So it just makes it open. And our accents and the behaviors and the things, we can't hide them. So when you just speaking, a person knows you're Uganda. So they could torture us, like looking for a way to eliminate us. They don't want. And then with the UNHCR, they will just tell you have to be in the camp with these people, because for them, they just collect people and put them together in the community.
Yeah. So how did you get from there to where you are now, and where are you now? You're in Nairobi, is that right?
Yeah, right now I'm in Nairobi. After meeting Martin, I talked to Martin. Like life was down in the camp, and the only way to survive was all about. In fact, I can call it begging. Like going out, I could just bump into your Facebook. Let's say if I found you on Facebook, I get into your chat and just tell you my problems to survive. Because there is anger, there is like the love of medication is down, and people are getting sick, and there is no medication, and the health services are really down, and it's just a mess. So to survive, or when you get sick, you have to find people to help you out, like donors and all that. And that is the trend, because you can't call home, or you don't have a dad or a mom or a brother to lean on. So we could always find solutions, and the only way is to turn into beggars, bumping into people's boxes and tell them the problems that you're facing. Those who help you, they do help you. Those who can't, you look for another person. So that's how I met Martin, and he opened up for me. And for the long time that we talked, and he understood the situation in the camp. We talked about my relocation, and he like, if you can be independent or having your help as a person, could you be in position to live in a place where you feel you're safe? Because in urban, people don't mind who you are. They are not minding. The biggest number of the people that we get who mind a lot are the people from, they don't have what to do, and people in the community that think living with them is a problem. But in the urban, everyone is paying his rent, doing everything, and then you pay your own apartment. So it's not like the way it could be in far places from the urban.
So you're now in an apartment outside of the camp. You got out of there.
Yeah.
And so what I'm hearing is that when you're in the camp, and there's still a bunch of folks in the camp, right? Like it's still a source of refuge for folks that can get out of other parts of Africa that are even worse. But you're not allowed to work there. Is that right? You don't have the papers to actually get a job in Africa.
Yeah. Okay, I don't know how it is, because maybe different countries, when they are welcoming the refugees, they regulate on their laws and orders, the way they take them. But where I am here in Kenya, you don't have papers to work. Let's say if you're in the camp, there are few opportunities for working, and the number is huge. People are many, so the slots are always little for people who to work there. Me, when I was in the camp, I was working. I used to work, but on a small scale, because you're not paid. Let's say if I'm working with a nation and I'm supposed to be paid $300, as a nation is paid $300 a month or $400 a month, me, I'm supposed to get $50. And that's what because you are an asylum seeker. Wow. And that one cannot take you. So that's how they take you. You don't belong to anywhere. So you just come in to help them, but you're not considered.
Right.
Yeah.
So So Martin is you connect with Martin on Facebook or through social media, that because that's a really good way for you guys to connect with people outside of Africa, right? Is through social media and the internet. And so how did you get from the refugee camp to an apartment in Nairobi? How did that journey go?
Yeah, actually, before relocating, yes, Martin was helping me. He offered me the job. When we went, we became friends, and it is a long story that I cannot explain everything here. But I became his friend. Then later, he offered me a job, so I started living independent.
Mm-hmm.
I had some money in the pocket, so I can take care of myself. But even when you have money and you can take care of yourself, and you ask eventually the government of Kenya that is RAS, like a refugee secretariat part that takes the refugee, that I want to stay alone. They can't give you the papers. I don't know the reason, but because I'm in position to take care of myself, I don't want to stay in the camp where I'm facing troubles, but they cannot let me be free. So I was always wondering. But in the first place, for my relocation, I got in a lot of challenges. Like I had insecurities, and they were attacking me, attacking my home. They attempted to, I can't say to kill me, but they were attempting every night, like 4 times. So I almost lost my hand when I was attacked, and my hand was cut. So in the camp, people are desperate. You can't tell who is who, but people are desperate. Now, like I started working with Martin, and I had a laptop. And with the people who say the boys or the gangs of the village, seeing a laptop is something big to them. It's a refugee camp, if you can understand. Live about the refugee camps that you see there. This is Africa. Now you just imagine how it looks like. So it was, someone sees a phone or a laptop and sees an opportunity to get money. So they have to fight you to get it. They can even cut off your head just to get what you have to survive. So they used to break into my home, and I used to report to police. And of course, the police act so slow, and they always don't mind because you refugees. Everything turns out. In fact, here, being a refugee is also another kind of torture, or I can say trauma. Being an asylum seeker is a trauma. So they used to attack me, and then I had to work because now, like, I was working with Martin, and Martin is in university. I had to connect with him using my laptop, and then they are always attacking me. And then I was like, I can lose my life because of a laptop or because of staying in the camp. And still, I needed a place or source where I can get like power, internet, and all that. So I could not stay in camp. I had to look for a place where I can get power readily available and internet. So I put in because I had reported the insecurities, I went to the OCSC, and he wrote for me a letter that I took to the RAS. Still, they could not grant me the relocation to Nairobi, but they gave me a temporary move out. We call it a movement pass. They allowed me to move from the camp out. But with the insecurities, I still wrote an email and informed them that I cannot stay in the camp, and I presented to them the letter that I gotten from the OCS, and the many occasions, showing the many occasions that people tried to attack me, and even on different occasions, people were insulting us or trying to attack us because of being gays, and so I was like, I can't be in that situation, and I'm at least somewhere that I'm independent. I can get some money, I can rent a house somewhere and live a better life. So I had to relocate, and they gave me a movement pass. So I had to leave the camp and get to Nairobi. I started my new life and renting apartment, staying there, having at least a kind of free life better than that of the camp.
Yeah. And I should just say that Martin Coward is a coach and has his own coaching business called The Zone of Genius. And he is, I think initially, you and others were saying, we need money, and you need the immediate, right? You just need money. And Martin was looking at the problem and saying, well, actually, what you need is need help, but you need independence, you need agency, and you need all these other things. And so you were able to kind of like get out of that amazingly horrible camp. And so I'm really grateful that you're now in a better place. And the interesting part about this kind of connected virtual world that we live in is that you can actually do work for somebody in America, right, who is in several oceans away from you, and but because you're doing it online, you're doing all this virtual work, social media, or other content management that you're doing for Martin, and other things, that he was able to then create an opportunity for you working, and that was really the key to your independence. Yeah. And so that has now expanded into something called Project Diamond Mine. So can you tell us a little bit about what that is?
Yeah, thank you once again. Actually, Diamond Mine came with me like, okay, it started, it came in after working with Martin, like getting in touch with Martin, working for him. And when I became his virtual assistant, I used to think it was a short period of time. And the speed that I was doing his stuff was like, wow, you're brilliant. I can't imagine that someone who has been in the camp can be in position to learn all of that, what you've learned, because I knew nothing. I had nothing that I knew about the work that I was going to do. And in fact, Martin just loved me as a person after all this conversation and how we connected to each other, that he even managed to travel from USA to come and meet me in Kenya, to know me in person. We spent a week together doing workshops with other LGBTQ guys here, like Mama Kiba, Mama Nate from Uganda.
Yeah.
Traveled all the way from Uganda to here. And they just loved him as a person. So he was like, I'm offering you a job. I want you to be independent. I didn't know what I was going to do. So when I used to do the work, he was like, you're brilliant. You guys, you need hope. You need to get out of that camp, because it's that camp that makes you feel, oh, look dull, look dense, and people look at you, undermine you, but you're brilliant. You can. So that's when he started using that word diamond. You people, you diamonds. Abba, you're a diamond. When they exert more pressure about you, you shine brilliantly. So you're a diamond. So that's when he was like, we needed to mine these diamonds out of the camp. That's when the word came. But when I came here to realize, because my story with Martin was like, when I was asking for a $50 to survive in one day or 2 days, or go to the hospital, look for food and all that. But as a coach, he saw something different in me. It was like, Abba, you need help, and I'm offering a course of 12 months. Like, whenever I tell this story, people don't believe it. Like, I was desperately looking for $50 to survive, and for him, he offered me a 12 course month. 12 course, that's a year. So even if you're the one, what recycles into your mind is like, this guy must be crazy or something wrong. I'm desperately looking for a $50, and he's telling me to get a course of 12 months. How am I going to survive? I cannot even reach in 2 months when I'm not dead. If I'm really down, I'm looking for food to eat. But for him, he was a coach. He knew how he's going to jug around with his lessons to help me get out of that. And indeed, it worked out.
Yeah.
I can tell you that my mindset and everything changed. I really saw the real me by getting my worth, knowing my worth where I am. I was badly off because every time I could think of suicide and such kind of things, and no one loves me. I don't have a job. Where I was working, I was just working for a peanuts. Which kind of life is this? In me, I could not even get my salary of $50 for a month. You just imagine surviving on $50 for a month. And I had people that I was still staying with, like 4 people. And then when they pay me for a month, I have to leave. And like they pay on the card, not like a bank card, but your phone, like your SIM line. That's when they send you the money, but you have to make sure that you leave that money at the shop. When it comes in at the end of the month, we need to just go and shop food, put in the house to survive.
Yeah.
So I could not even get it in my pocket to say I'll buy a shirt or a trouser for myself. So life was so hard. So that's how Diamond Main came, was like, using you guys, you're brilliant, you need to get out of there. And when finally I managed to move out from the camp to Nairobi, we started seeing, because the protocol that he used, not giving me money, but helping me to see the future, to see my worth, and knowing who I am.
Yeah.
Getting, it was like when we teach you the skills, because for me, I didn't know anything, but it was like, my virtual assistant is going. He can teach you, and then you come work for me. That was just so amazing. I couldn't take it in. You just imagine that per week, he told me per week I'll be getting $180. But you imagine I was working for $50. But this is weekly. The other one was $50 a month. Now I'm getting $180 a month. I mean, a week.
A week.
You get it? So I had started getting enough money. And the skills that he gave me, that he passed on to me, it enabled me to stand alone, like standing independent and look forward on my future, even to revive my life, to come back. And most of the time when we are speaking, me and Martin, I'm always telling you, you didn't save me. You didn't rescue me. You brought me back to life. Because I was not alive. He brought me back to life. I could not even see the importance in me, the real me. So that's how the word Diamond Main came in. And then we knew that when we help our fellow people, because they are not working, they are not working like the rest of the people, what they need, and they don't have papers. They cannot be given permits to work all over. So we just resorted, and we sat together, like, in fact, it was Martin who told me, Abba, I see you working, and you're working virtually on your laptop, and we are working. We're making some money, and you can live a better life. You can afford some of the things that you used to admire. How do you think, when we start teaching the rest of your team or your people that you left out there, they also learn the skills? Then we start connecting them to the people, like the Western people who understand working in a virtual space, so that they can also stand independent. Because when you become independent, you stop being beggars, and you people, you can. That's the only way you can, juggle with the life in the camp. Like, you cannot be poor, and then you cannot be in position to put food to the table, and then you fight the discrimination or the homophobia or everything which was happening there. So we needed to be independent. You need to be in position where you can get yourself from one place to another for your own safety. So that's when we were like, we are diamonds. And our other diamonds are still in the camp, but we can't help them. What should we do? So we resorted to opening up. We say, let's open up an academy. We call it Diamond Mine. Like, we are mining these diamonds from that deep and far place, that dangerous place, to something brilliant, to something that every person can see. That after polishing these people by giving them skills, because even when I was saved, there is no way I can keep on giving even if I'm getting some money. How am I going to distribute that money to thousands of LGBTQ who are still in the camp? It's not easy.
Yeah.
Even when you say I'll buy a sack of rice and take for them, it's not that easy. For how long are you going to do that? But for us, we knew if we open up something like an academy and we start passing skills one by one, it could help other people to get jobs. We can get many Abbas. Me, I'm Abba today because I've gotten the skills. Then I pass these skills to another Abba, and then also that person passes it. And that's how we did. In fact, Mike, you were one of the first employers in my academy. I can say my academy or our academy, Because when we open it up, right now we are working on getting a non-political organization, and we are trying to work on that. A non-government organization, NGO.
NGO, yeah.
Yeah, but before we just started, as it was just an idea, and it just started working in that space. That's when I called in Aisha when you wanted some help, and we passed the skills to her, and she was working out well. So that's when we started seeing things work out. Like people, they are generous people. In reality, it's not all about working, but knowing this community suffers and it doesn't have any hope of surviving. So these people, instead of going there or being there and say, Michael, you pass $100 to me or to Aisha, it could even be something big too. Like every time, you can't help every time. But if someone is trying to handle some work for you, is also, giving you some kind of help when you're doing other stuff, and this person is also running some of your work. You also see the benefit that it's a win and a win. You also benefit, and even the person you're helping is also benefiting by even changing the mentality that now I work, Mike pays me my $50 a week, and I'm in position to stand as a woman or a man. So it was that helpful. And as we speak right now, I think we are many.
Yeah.
We are many, and they've all managed. Those who have not been given paper from the government of UNCL, Kenya and UNCL, move in, they go. There is the biometric process that they use in the camp, because they have to monitor your presence. So you have to go back and put your fingers for the biometric, and then come back to the camp and work. To urban and work. But when you're in a safe environment, you can then spend 2 days, work out on biometric. We call it eddy counting. They know that you're present, you're not anywhere, but I am in Nairobi. I'm focusing on working and then living in a good condition, a good life where someone cannot come and attack me, because no one can come on my land breaking, saying I'm so and so, so I've come to kill you, like the way it was in the camp. So, and right now, as we are opening an NGO, we are still opening up a school this side. So we are opening up an NGO where people can come in and help us to build the school. We want people to be donating on the NGO side to know the cause that now we have Diamond main NGO to fundraise and help us have things like laptops, have safe house and internet for people to study, because they are not paying money. We are not asking them to pay money. They are just refugee asylum seekers. Where are they going to get money for the whatever, for the Initex? So we just finding a better way, like being charitable. People can donate, and then they help us to get like laptops and all that, and then set up a safe house where many people, Right now we have a safe house. We have one, though it's not that big, and we are trying to put people together to see that when they stay in a safe place, having water, having internet, having food, they have health facilities where we take them, and it's in a good way, not like the life in the camp, and then get the skills, learn, and after we connect them to the people who can give them jobs. Or also look out for jobs by themselves after getting the skills. Things that we are focusing on are like virtual assistants, as we are working with you people, work like social sellers. We have accountants, people who can earn like QuickBooks, and it's really working out. It's really working out. So we just need people to come in and support us. When they donate, they clear out ways, because moving now, like helping a person to get out of the camp, takes a lot. It's very far away, and then we have to revive that person's life. We have to get where that person will go now, getting a mattress, knowing now we're adding on another number. And even when we shouldn't get out from the process or the protocols of UNHCR and the government of Kenya, because we shouldn't act outside them. So we just need a safe place, but then we should be catering for that person when that person leaves the camp by telling them this is where this person is. When you need him, this is where you find him, and we can be in position to sponsor them to get back. They do the biometrics, and then they come back and be where you need them to be till you give them the interviews that they are supposed to be given, and life move on.
Yeah. And so I should mention that you mentioned Aisha, and Aisha is actually a very big help to me. I don't actually do much as far as, I think about content. I actually interview folks. I try to be entertaining online and show up. But all of the back stuff about setting up the show and creating the flyers that you all see on social media, Aisha does all that work for me. And so she is a really useful assistant to me, and does that all from Africa as well. So Project Diamond Mine and the Diamond Mine Academy is really about empowering our LGBTQI folks in Africa who are really suffering under this really horrible, I would say, human rights crisis, right? And to get them to a place where they can actually be empowered to do virtual work for folks all over the world electronically. And it's amazing how far you've come as a person with your journey. And I'm so glad to see that we're getting some others along that path too. And I see that Mama Annette just put a comment up earlier about watching from Kampala. Greetings from Kampala, Uganda. So thank you for watching, Mama Annette. And wow. It's hard for us. I mean, in our country, we're seeing some pretty awful things regarding trying to erase trans people and trying to take away rights of gay and lesbians on a much I won't say minor, I'll say lesser scale, right? But what you all are doing and you're dealing with in Uganda especially, but really all over Africa, is pretty harrowing to us, I think, in the West. And I've talked to you and your colleagues, and just hearing some of the stories about people whose own families were trying to chase them out or cause them harm. It's just heartbreaking. And so, but the good news is we have a way now to help in terms of connecting with you, connecting with Diamond Mine Academy. And folks can learn more by going to diamondmineacademy.org. And how should folks connect with you if they want to learn more?
Yeah, like I have my person accounts now, like on Facebook, Abba Henry, and on LinkedIn, Abba Henry. They can reach out to me. When they go to my accounts, they can find my email, they can find my number. But briefly, I just wanted to let you to talk about this. That you see, in the first place, the pace or the pressure on LGBTQ was a bit low, and but they've added in more fuel now that Ugandan government has passed anti-gay or anti-homosexual bill 2023, and it has made it open with death sentence and the penalties that people cannot take in, and it scared not only the LGBTQ community, but even the people, the parents with the kids that are having LGBTQ profiles. Now, like if your parents knows that you are a gay or you associate with them, is forced to chase you out of the family, is chased to deny you, they disown you, because the law states that if you found associating, just a mere associating, so it was a trigger just to tell the parents that if you have that person, tell us about him or her. Even those who love their children, they're still keeping them like the way they are. They are forced. Because the neighbor will say, that one has a son who associates in such kind of a manner, and then he or our life is on risk. So what they do, they are openly coming out to denounce those people. And then what happens is these people have nowhere to go. They are just out there, and then they are hunted with police and all that to be taken to jail for for death penalty to those who are LGBTQ. And those who are helping them now, like the parents or the guardians or whoever shakes with them, 20 years in jail. So no one can stand that. So the flock that comes from Uganda is really heavy right now. What I wanted to make clear is that our intention was to teach skills with the vulnerable LGBTQ community. But now the need of help is huge, that we've extended our hands even to welcome those people, because our people, and for us, we do understand them and we can't chase them away. So we need to welcome them. We need to have funds to help them. Me, they know I'm a leader, I'm in Nairobi. They need to get help. So they're always contacting me now, like Mama Net is my friend, he knows what's happening in Uganda. They're always giving me calls about we have so and so wants to come, at least just look for asylum and find a way you fix him or her. And I'm just Abba. If I don't have funds, how am I going to support that person from Uganda to reach Nairobi or So then to direct that person to any cell office to see that that person is registered, So we really extended our hands to welcome them, but we don't have funds. That's why we are calling out people to go and donate for us to be in position to maintain this. We cannot do this alone. So people can look out on our page, our website, www.diamondmainacademy.org, or go out and get in touch with me on Facebook at Abba Henry or LinkedIn, and then we get in touch. Whichever way you can support us, we appreciate. So it is worse right now with that's what we are calling a crisis, and people need to know this. We are coming out, we have to talk. However much, it's not easy, by the way. Sometimes coming out to speak about this, but this is the way forward. We have to come out, because if we've not talked, if we've not spoken, they keep quiet, people are dying out.
Yeah, and I think it takes a lot of courage for you to even step out the way you are. And what I'm hearing is that because of these new laws that are going to probably be written into law in Uganda, that it's actually increased the influx of asylum seekers. And it's created even more pressure on all of you to want to reach out a hand. So folks can learn more and also donate through diamondmineacademy.org or by just connecting with you on social media. And it's, again, Abba Henry, Henry. If you're listening and you're not seeing his name on the screen. Anything else you want to share before we close? I think, I think this has been a really good hour, and we've learned a lot. It's been kind of harrowing and kind of sad, but at the same time, we see a ray of hope in Project Diamond Mine. And I think the important thing is we all need to take action, and an injury to one is an injury to all, as we say over here sometimes in the labor and organizing world. And we all have to stand together and support our brothers and sisters wherever they're being oppressed. And this is a very horrible crisis that's happening in Africa. But you can all help by going to projectdiamondmine.org or diamondmineacademy.org rather, and connecting with Abba Henry. And thank you so much for being here, Abba. Anything you want to close with?
I just need to thank you for giving me this opportunity, being live on your platform. It's really a great pleasure, and just asking people to look, at least, not only those who want to donate, but people who want to learn about Project Diamond Mine and how we are putting things together. We can't do this alone. We just need your hands. And when you come in, even when you see that this may be, there are people with ideas can even come and support us by advising and helping us to move this together. We need to help each other, and the only way to do that is to join hands. So we don't have any other support. So we are welcoming every and each support, whether mentally, whether financially, whether whichever way it comes in. So we are appreciating and we just welcoming people come and join hands with us. Never know, one day, one time shall be a topic. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Abba. And I hope we can look forward to the success of Project Diamond Mine and Diamond Mine Academy. And you can get back to music making, and we can someday make music together. That would be great.
Yeah, we are looking forward. You know, with Martin, we learn to manifest positively. So we believe that the universe can unfold and everything becomes possible. Because when you change the mindset, you change the mentality, and then you believe that the universe has your back. There's nothing to worry about. So it is just a shadow that we are always having in our heart. And you like, how will I reach in USA? How will you reach in? But we believe and we manifest positively. So you never know, one day we might meet.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's a really great way to end, that we all have to keep a positive outlook and create the world that we want to create. So thank you so much, Abba, for being here. And again, if you're listening and you want to learn more, diamondmineacademy.org, and connect with Abba or me online. We're both on LinkedIn and Facebook. And thank you so much. And we will see everybody next time. Take care.
Bye.